Nearly every country in Africa is plagued with poverty and other complex issues that affect the quality of life. It is only the issue of poverty that our organization is concerned with today, and for now, our focus remains on Kenya. It is hard to determine the magnitude of poverty in Kenya. Reports with widely disparate findings can't all be true. One place where the magnitude can be seen is in the streets, where Kenyans go when the poverty has become unbearable. Unfortunately, the Kenyan government is only capable of reacting to these cries for help with ominous response. Poverty in Africa is determined by the same factor that determines poverty rates anywhere else in the world: inadequate wages. In Kenya, those wages are made inadequate by not just being low, but a whole list of exploitations that deprive Kenyan workers of their earnings. And those suffering the most are families, where 1 in 9 children will not survive past the age of 5 years old. Those in government with the power to help Kenyan workers seem to be focused on other matters more related to their own self-interest.
I'm number one in Kenya in trade union matters. I'm number one in the large trade union federation of Eastern Africa from Madagascar, Eritrea. I have an office in Sudan. I am also number 2 in the whole world. I'm the vice president of the International Trade Union Federation. And you heard yesterday, and day before yesterday, I was elected back to a very powerful position of the International Labour Organization. So there's more road people making noise, and these people are making noise. It's not because it is just envy, being envious for nothing. People have been named. Today I said, let heroes be celebrated when they are alive. When I'm sick, I'm being celebrated. When them are red the road after my death, I don't know. It doesn't do anything when I'm still alive. Call me to marches, call me to everything. Not to come to my funeral and start praising me, how I was powerful trade union, how I led world power for the labor movement. I will curse you. Yeah.
When Dr. Atwali advises going back to square one to tackle social protections, he must forget that laws have already been established to protect the rights of workers. There are several factors unique to Kenya that may be to blame for the lack of enforcement of the laws that are meant to protect workers. One of those is the classification of the informal worker, a term that has come to mean without rights. And although jobs in Kenya are identical to jobs everywhere, those workers who have been pushed into this category are not recognized as having access to workers' rights. The legal definition of a casual worker is one whose employment is not expected to last more than 30 days, and one who is paid in cash at the end of each day. In reality, only a small percentage of Kenyan workers fall under the casual or informal worker classification. The other unique factor that affects the enforcement of the rights of workers is the fact that the international corporations that extract Kenya's natural resources to ship them back to their own countries, where the benefits of adding value to those resources through labor are denied to Kenya, are also the same corporations that the Kenyan government relies upon for the cradle of the nation's tax base. The natural loyalty by the Kenyan government to serve those corporate interests, as well as the developed habit of dismissing the grievances of workers because of that loyalty, has been exploited by native employers. Native employers who offer very little to funding of government, Native workers who take full advantage of the freedom to abuse and oppress the workers of Kenya without consequence, Native employers responsible for the poverty in Kenya. Tens of billions of dollars are spent by charities in Africa each year to provide a very few with very little. These attempts to treat the symptoms of the real problem are merely Band-Aids. You can Band-Aid a man, you can Band-Aid a country, you can even Band-Aid a whole continent. But ultimately, the population will remain unchanged. There is no organization that is addressing the issue of poverty in Africa, except for our organization, Saving Africa. We are a group of people who have demonstrated advanced capabilities in building innovative software technology that has empowered millions of everyday citizens in the United States. We have teamed up to provide Kenya with a platform that will bring together employers, government, and the people of Kenya so that they can work together towards carving out solutions to some of Kenya's biggest challenges. We believe that a Kenyan government that merely enforces existing law can lift the people of Kenya from the depths of poverty, can provide a new tax base for government, as well as provide employers with a more efficient and productive workforce.
Last night, I had a dream of us coming together. Last night, in my dream, I saw unity. I had a taste of democracy, and I felt safe. East to the west and south to the north, people were living in peace, seeing the eyes of justice everywhere. Every land was thriving with love and prosperity. And I woke up asking myself, oh, I woke up asking myself, why can't we achieve a sustainable peace? Why can't we have a sustainable future? Why can't we achieve a sustainable peace? Why can't we have a sustainable future? Why can't we? Last night, I dreamt of an end to poverty. All nations were growing, all nations stood strong. Smiles of understanding between one another. Politics and music belong to the people again. Equal rights spread amongst all shapes and colors. People were building a beautiful and stable home. Last night, in my dream, I saw humanity. And I woke up